Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Real Farm using the free mode instead of the career mode. I'm trying to let the career mode set for a little bit. The last time we played that, we had some serious issues, so I'm trying to give them a little bit of time to catch up on some bug fixes, and I think they will. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of time, maybe a week or so, to work on that before we get back into that. But for now, I'm having quite a bit of fun here in the free mode because it means we get to do whatever we want. And what I really want to do is work with the animals. All right, so it looks like we've got, it rains for a minute, then it sun shines for a minute, then we're back to rain. I don't know what's going on right now. All right, so we've got some crops planted. And we've got our canola going on a few fields. Let's head back to our map. You can see we're here on field 1. And we've got canola planted. And then everything is in the green so far, but you can see the infestation amount is increasing, which means we're going to have to spray for that pretty shortly. Maybe we'll get through one harvest here without having to spray there. And then our cultivating is fine. And moisture and nutrition for the soil are both okay. But again, we're going to have to deal with that pretty soon. Now, the soil nutrition, we're in great shape. We've got slurry that we need to get rid of. So one of our major goals is to use the slurry on this field expressly for that purpose, because realistically, we have to get rid of the slurry because the tank will fill up for our cows, and if the tank fills up, then their health will start to go down unless we get rid of the slurry. So of course, the perfect solution is use the slurry on the fields. So even though my focus is not on these fields, except to the extent that they can really help out with our animals, everything's really going to work together with a nice synergy to help everything else. So that in itself is good. Now, we came up to a problem at the end of our previous episode, and that was we have got too many vehicles rented. It's not going to let us rent anything else. So we're going to have an issue here, and I'm going to have to start getting rid of some stuff. Now, before we decide what we're going to get rid of, we know there are a few things we can't get rid of. And we can't get rid of the plow. You know, we can't do anything there, although we may have to end up getting rid of this one and simply buying a plow. Same thing with the cultivator. Now, we're good with the cultivator. The Fern 6000 has a cultivator on it. The problem is the game doesn't recognize it. When a worker uses this tool to sow the fields, it should cultivate and sow, but the game does not recognize that, except anything but a sower. So we're kind of in a bind there, because I'd love to be able to get rid of this. That would make a whole lot of sense. However, you know, sort of where do we go from here? Well, we've got our slurry tank. We're going to have to probably start getting rid of some things that are a little bit on the cheaper side that we still need. That way we can buy them. We don't have that much money. We could start, you know, borrowing money. So we got some decisions we're going to have to make pretty soon, because we're going to have to harvest, and we're going to need a harvester. But right now, if I sort of flip through and see where we are, we got some tractors all over the place here. A bunch of tractors. Now, obviously, we got room to get rid of those. Then we've got a couple of trucks, which I do not want to get rid of because they are sitting at key locations for us. One is at the livestock market, and the other is at our farm supply shop. Those two I do not want to get rid of if at all possible. But again, we may have to do some things. But we've got some tractors right here. And we don't need all these tractors. I want all these tractors because I like owning lots of equipment, but quite frankly, we don't need them. All right, so for now, let's get back over to, this will work. We're at the slurry tank, and you can see we've got some growth. Now, one of the issues that we have in the game right now is you can see these things, all right, they look different for sure. So we planted, and then we had the sprouts, sort of the beginning stages of growth. Now we're at this stage, which I believe is at stage 2. Of growth. We cannot harvest until we get to stage 3. Now, we don't want to get to stage 4, which is the withering. So we want to harvest at stage 3. The problem that you have is unless you just know what this is supposed to look like, you've got no shot, because nothing really tells you. If we press I to go to the field information, there's nothing on here that tells me, hey, field 1 is at stage whatever. Middling. I think this is at mid-growth, middling stage right now. And you can see we've got some issues here with the soil moisture we're going to have to deal with, at least until they can get the weather straightened out in the game so that the rain takes care of that for us, at least for most part. But right now, we're not at a position where we want to harvest these because we get about half as much. And we want these to hurry up and be ready. But in order for that to happen, we need to go to the shop and look for a harvester. Now, the harvester, there's a couple of differences as we go through these. There's 400 and 450 horsepower. I've really seen no difference in these. Maybe there is one attachment header that would use the bigger one over the smaller one, but for the most part, I mean, it's pretty much the same. You have a little bit more as far as storage in this one, but it's really not that big a deal. So we're going to try to select this. Come on. Select. No. Can we select either one of them? We can't select anything. Well, that's just no good at all. How are we supposed to do anything if we can't select anything? All right, so let's go to our vehicles, and can we select these? Okay, we can select those. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. We know we got to get rid of some stuff, so let's go ahead and make some decisions now. We know we can't get rid of the tipper. We can't get rid of that because that's what we're using to feed our animals. Let's come in just to make sure that our animals are doing good. Food, yeah, 64% there. We're in great shape there. Slurry tank is only at 32%, so we got plenty of room left there. Our health will continue to increase, or at least it should, as long as we can keep the food and particularly the slurry numbers in check. So we're okay there. All right, so let's see. We've got these two I want to keep because I'm going to need at least 2 tractors. One to deal with the tipper, and then one to do other stuff between whether it's sowing or cultivating or whatever the case may be. I don't want to get rid of the 2 trucks. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of, let's select that. Oh, wait a minute. Come back here. I purchased you. Yeah. Okay, we're in good shape there. We want to keep that one. This one, because our problem is with the ones we're renting. So let's go ahead, select this one, sell that, and now we keep waiting for these to change on me. Why does that look different? That looks odd. The ones right in front of me are a very dull color, but interesting. All right, let's come back to our harvesters. Can I select this one now? I cannot select that harvester. Okay, so let's come back to the vehicles. We got rid of 1 tractor already, and I really can't get rid of this. Of course, I don't want to get rid of this, the Fern 6000, because we own it. No reason to get rid of that. And I really want to get rid of this, but I know that if I need to cultivate for now, the 6000 doesn't show as cultivating. So we're going to have to get rid of another tractor maybe. Let's go here, select that, sell that. Okay. So let's sort of move around a little bit, and you can see that, all right, we've gotten rid of that. So we got 2 green tractors left in here, several pieces of farm equipment. Let's make sure we didn't get rid of, nope, there's our tractor on the tipper, so we're still good there. All right, did I get rid of the tractor that is with the slurry? It would appear as though I did. Yes. Okay, so I got rid of that one. All right, so we know that's where one of the tractors that we got rid of came from. Okay, no problem there. I still want to come back in. Why can't I? Okay, can't double click there. You can see it's lighting up, so it knows that we're on it. All right, what about, can I go into tractors and select a tractor? No, I cannot select anything. Okay, well, this is no good. It looks like maybe in trying to fix some bugs, they actually, let's see, we're going to need a water tank, so let's see if we can select this. Oh, we can, and we just did. I think we just bought it. So I was getting a little bit too click happy there. Okay, yes, we bought it. All right, so we bought the water tank, which is not a problem because that's one of the things we needed to do anyway. Okay, so we're in good shape there. We still got $9 grand left, probably enough to buy anything that we're going to need. All right, so we're going to have to see if we can't figure this thing out. But for now, we need to head down to the store. All right, what am I doing? I know better than this. I know better than this. Let's see, where is green tractor? Let's reset that one. Oh, and that wasn't it. Okay, it was the other one over here. All right, let's go ahead and pull this one out of the way. We're going to need to get this one. All right. So we got some issues that we're trying to figure out. Let's see. There you go. Now we got our water tank because field 1 needs some water. And hitch, please. There we go. I was beginning to wonder. So many glitches going on right now in this game. I was beginning to think that there was a glitch that was keeping me from attaching that. All right, so what can we do now? We're about to have plants that are ready to harvest, and yet we can't get a harvester. So that is going to present a problem. Now, the good news for us, oh, here we go. The water tank has apparently no weight because it tips over very easily. So, and the problem that we're running into is we can't harvest our crops. But the long-term plan has been that we're only going to use the feed that we purchase from over here at the farm supply until we could get to a point where we could get some grass going in the fields and use the grass to feed the animals. Now, once we get that, then we're in good shape because that's really what I plan on long-term using the fields for. The extra money at the beginning was just going to be just that. All right, we got 2 fields. I can't quite see field 4 over there if it's actually ready or it's at the middling stage right now. All right, but these are going to be ready very shortly. We don't have any way of doing anything with them. All right, for now, I need to get over to the water station, which is just ahead of us. And I'm going to do this the simple way and pull right through this area here. All right, let's fill it up with water. You can see in the bottom left, 10,000 water. And we're headed to field 1. And then once we get a worker going on field 1 spraying this water, then we're going to head back and try to see what we can do about. All right, so field 1, water, we're going. Okay, now that we're off the field, let's go back to the shop. Ah, we got in. All right, let us in this time. Okay, can we rent this thing? Yes, we can rent it. Okay, don't know what happened before, but we're in so far. Now we got one more step. We need to get the header. All right, and since we're going to hire a worker to do this anyway, I'm not particularly worried about, the size of the header. We can see here 6 meters wide. The working width there, the MX5, and then the MX9, of course, is 9 meters. And then we got some other things for corn down here. We're not worried about that. And then you got a super huge 12 meters. Now this one, I'm actually not sure we could get down the road with this. So as nice as that might be to speed things up, I'm not sure you can actually get down the road and get it back unless you can find a way without having to go through or over an overpass. So interesting on that one. All right, let's select this. Can we rent it? Yes, we can. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. All right, now they've put us in kind of a bind here because we need to get on the other side of that header. Oh, turn, please, turn. We need to get on the other side of the header. This thing does not turn at all. All right, we're just going to have to run into things and do the best we can here, I think. All right, come here. All right, now that we've gotten, finally, we've gotten one of the issues resolved with our harvester. You can see this is a pretty narrow working width on a harvester header here, but that's not going to be an issue for us. But one of the things that you really miss out on this game because the workers do their thing and they disappear and you're not allowed to interact with them is harvesting. Normally with the harvester in something like Farm Sim, you would simply have the worker operate the harvester while you operate the tractor and the tipper so that you can continue to unload the harvester. Now, granted, if you're like me and you really love mods like Courseplay, then you can take care of that all on its own anyway. But one of the things I have enjoyed in the past is running the tractor and the tipper, and then you unload the harvester, and then once the harvester is unloaded, then you get to take the tipper and take it to the silo and so forth. So that was always fun for me, but in this game you don't get that option because the worker disappears while he's harvesting. Now, the good thing, sort of the way they make up for that, I suppose in a manner of speaking, is that you can't help out, but it's all done in one step. So this harvester is going to go across the field, and I would assume is going to put all of the contents of the harvest. All right, worker is done. That's perfect timing. So we're almost back to the farm, and the worker is nearly done. We can see on the left. Now here's what I was talking about with the width of the harvester. You can see this one manages to fit through, and I can see possibly the next level up fitting through, but I'm not sure about that third one, the widest one, which I believe was 12 meters wide. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to make it through there. Okay, we're going to park this one right here. So we've got our slurry tank over there, and let's take a quick look at our livestock, see how they're doing. Okay, let's go ahead and tip them off with some food. All right, where are we? Let's flip through all of them. There we go. All right, we still have, okay, we don't need any more feed. We still got 8,700, which is more than this area will hold as is. So you can see we got plenty of stuff going on to do. There's no shortage of things to do. It just may not necessarily be all the things that we want to do. All right, slow down, and deposit. Okay, so you can see even after that, we still got 37.75 left in there. All right, let's get our weight out of there. And while I am thinking about it, we're going to go ahead and come back in here. I can't remember if I've got any more feed in here. Oh, slow, stop. Okay, do we have any food left in here? Okay, we do. All right, so we're in good shape there. Now that gives us almost 14,000 on food. Let me pull out and get away from that trigger. I don't want to do anything that could possibly get us into any issues. Okay, let's come back in to our map. Now, we should be good on field 1. All right, so nutrition is low on field 1. All right, no problem. We've also got an infestation, which is going to be another utility for us. So let's go over, and rather than using the comma to flip through all these things, let's just go right over here, get into our vehicle, and now we need to come over to our slurry tank, which is currently full. And we're going to get our guy going there. Okay, you can see. Now, the idea for the game is, and I have not tested this, we're learning all of this together here. It has not continued to grow. Oop, as I'm going to run over the slurry tank because I'm not paying attention. You can see that this has not continued to grow. At least I'm assuming that's the middling stage. I could be wrong. In fact, I am a little worried about that. Let's come back over to this. Is this still the middling? Yeah, that still looks the same. Okay, I think we're still good there. We don't want to do that just yet. Oh my goodness, our tractor's still going. Come back. Runaway tractor, come back here. Well, we know there's physics for that anyway. Objects in motion will continue to stay in motion. Inertia is alive and well in this game. All right, so let's go ahead and hook this up. We've got it hitched. And now we will come out to the field. All right, can we hire a worker there? We absolutely can. So there's one thing down. All right, here we go. Now we've got all right, so now we're done. Where did they put my water? You know, we had it, the worker was using it. Did I miss it over here? Ouch. Look out. Did I miss it? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I was beginning to worry because I've had some issues in the past with workers getting done, and then my equipment, instead of showing up out here, just simply doesn't show up at all. Okay, we're going to hitch this up, and then we're going to take a look at our map. Let's look over on field 5, and yes, we do need this on field 5. Let's see if we can get out of here without running over anything else, which is possible, but not always likely. There we go. All right, so we need the slurry tank on field 1 where it is now. And then I'm going to have to fill this up with water. I did not realize it used quite that much water. Wow. That is a lot of water to be used. All right, come on, car, get out of the way. We're coming through. Did not really realize that field 1 was going to use that much water. But boy, does it ever. So this tank doesn't really hold all that much at all. All right, there we go. Put it over here. Nope, trigger, come on. There we go. All right, we're back to 10,000 on water. And now we're headed back to field number 5. But now, of course, we've got a new issue that we're going to have to deal with as I run the obstacle course through the trees. And the issue we're going to have to deal with is we need to spray insecticides. Let's take a quick glance over there. Looks like it's going along fine, but I'm sure that field is suffering from the same issues that we are elsewhere. And that is, it needs multiple things. All right, let's hire the worker there. And let's check on our workers. So we've got 43 essentially a few seconds left on the slurry tank on field 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop out here. And see, okay, our tipper's there. Seriously, I thought I had more vehicles than this. Really? All right, so we've got the 3 tractors, 1 hooked to the tipper. Oh, yeah, and the other 2 are working on fields right now. Okay, so there's our 3 tractors. All right, so we don't have an extra tractor right now. Let's go to the shop. And, oh, I saw something pop up. You noticed our money went up. And that is because we got $9,860. Very nice. I like it. So money went up from yesterday. This would make sense given my assumption that with the cows, as their health goes up, the amount of milk they give us goes up. So the overall idea is keep them with plenty of food, keep the slurry tank less than full so that the slurry has somewhere to go, and that will help out on the cleanliness. So the cleanliness, I'm not sure what is the level below which their health starts to decline. I'm guessing it's somewhere around 25, 30, somewhere in that range, which we're getting too close to for my liking. But so far, so good. Our money is going up. All right, you can see we've got expenses here. We've got some new equipment that we've leased. We've got maintenance. There's our rented equipment. And then we've got some worker charges on here. But otherwise, we're doing perfectly fine as far as the money goes. We're just trying to work through some things here in the bed. Oh, we got to go to bed. We got to go to bed before we fall asleep. Oh, never mind. We fell asleep. All right, there is the water tank, which is looking kind of interesting. All right, water tank is done. Is the slurry tank done? Is our slurry tank around? Okay, I'm confused. We're missing a piece of equipment. We are missing the, oh, excuse me, that is the slurry tank. We're missing the water tank. let's head over here and let's get, and I have no idea where that thing went. So I don't know if we have encountered a bug or if I'm just missing it. Maybe there's another location. Oh, and it looks like we're ready to go on field 1. All right, and it's full. Our slurry tank is full. Okay, now I'm confused. I'm officially confused. What is going on? All right, we're fine except for infestation on field 1. We need soil nutrition on field 5. And yeah, as I suspected, field 4 needs a lot of help too. Okay, let's go over to field 5 with our slurry. So it is the water tank that we're missing, and I'm sort of glancing around trying to see where it's at. One of the suggestions that I have given to the developers on the Steam forums is to, instead of having, as soon as the worker is done, instead of having everything just reset back to the farm over there, why not just have, all right, yeah, let's hop out for a second before we get started. But anyway, to finish that thought, instead of having everything reset right over there at the farm area, why not just reset it somewhere right next to the field? I would even be okay if that's not a good idea. Just reset it right in the middle of the field with everything still attached. Now, granted, for the realism purposes, that's not the best idea, but if that makes things simple, so it's easier to keep up with this stuff, then yeah, then just leave it there. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because at this point, I just really want everything to work so that we can have some fun. All right, so we are ready to harvest here, and I am going to set this guy on his way. Why are he not? Oh, we can't hire a worker for this. We can't do that. No worker? No worker. Okay, well, that presents us a problem because we are too late in the video. We simply don't have time for us to be harvesting fields at this particular point in the video. I had not planned it out that way for sure. And we're missing our water tank. Let's head over here. We'll come back to the harvesting and we'll take that up in our next video. But for right now, in fact, while I'm thinking about it, because I don't want everything to go haywire, let's turn this down to slow, because we got some things to work out here. There's too much going on to leave that on fast just all the time. So I'm looking for our water tank. Oh, is it in here? I hope not, because it'd be hard to get it back out in this small space. Okay, so it hasn't spawned over here. Did it spawn in here? Nope. Did it spawn in here? No. Well, I'm confused. The good news is we do have the option here of selecting it and then simply resetting it. So we still have it. That part is not the issue. All right, and we've got an extra tractor right now that we can use to get that, but we'll have to do that next time. So it looks like we got a full line of things that we got to figure out. And there's still some bugs that are going on. So when we come back next time, we'll have to take care of the field over there, field 1, and get that harvested. And that should be interesting because I don't have any way of hiring a worker for the tipper as well. So that's going to be interesting. And then we're going to have to harvest field number 5 straight ahead of us, which is right here on the map. And then we'll have to do some work on field 4 to get it prepared so that the crops will grow there. Wow. All right, so a lot happening right now on the farm. It gives us plenty to do and plenty of fun to be had. And also, unfortunately, we're finding some bugs and some hiccups along the way. So thank you very much for joining me, not only in this series, but for all the series in the channel. I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And stay tuned next time where we'll continue our Let's Play series of Real Farm using the free mode.